Yeah.
So like I just record all the stuff, and it was apparent to me that people are either like venting about how sad they are, or how horny they are. Like people are either like people either looking to cry or they're looking to have sex.
Okay. Okay. So how's it going, man?
Doing great. How's it going? Well, where are you? Where are you
I'm
based out
actually in
of?
Pennsylvania, over here on the East
Well, how's
Coast.
it going? How's it going in Pennsylvania?
Beautiful day, slightly on the hot side, but I'll take it. It's been kind of cold for the last few weeks, so not too bad.
Right.
Yeah. Are you out in Texas, or where are you these days?
Yeah. I'm in Austin.
Okay.
I've been here, moved here in '83. So yeah, I've been here for a while.
Yeah. Okay. That's okay. So 83. I know you're from where you're not from Austin originally, right? So a different part of Texas.
I'm from Fort Worth.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh, yeah, Dallas is an inbred cousin next door. Yeah,
Gotcha.
that's where I'm from.
And I want to get to you guys' new old record, but I also wanted to, being that my channel and my whole interview thing is called a hardcore conversation. I kind of wanted to bring in some of your roots in hardcore, which I believe you have, and maybe a lot of people don't know that.
Well, I would rather talk about hardcore than that record, so it's fine by me. But yeah, I mean, maybe unlike I was there for the first wave of American hardcore, when punk began to change into hardcore, and that was exciting. But now I was in high school. I mean, I kind of have to rewind a bit. When I got into punk rock, I was maybe 15 or so in high school in Fort Worth, Texas. This is before the internet.
Yeah.
Before it's really hard to find out what was going on. One band that we knew of was the Sex Pistols, and they actually came through Dallas. They played Dallas in '78,
Yeah.
'77,
Were you
something
there?
like that, I believe. Anyway, they played. Well, I was too young, and like they were playing at a bar, so I couldn't get in.
Uh-huh.
I'll fast forward. Giving a Paul from the Buttholes actually saw the Sex Pistols in San Antonio.
Oh, nice.
But this is before I met Giving a Paul, obviously.
Uh-huh.
So anyway, I regretted that I couldn't see the Sex Pistols, but I was all in, and I joined a high school punk rock band called the Hugh Beaumont Experience, and what we knew of punk rock to us was the Sex Pistols. We didn't know what was happening in LA, or all we knew was the Sex Pistols.
Uh-huh.
And we to the point where we were all from Fort Worth, but to the point where the singer was singing with a Cockney accent, trying to be like Johnny Rotten.
Yeah.
But that to us is what punk rock sounded like.
Right.
So during one of our first shows, we played with a hardcore band called the Militants. They never put out a record, but they were a really good band. It was the first time I'd ever seen hardcore. It was just so fast. It was great. And I kind of realized, oh, this is what punk rock is now. Okay. And also around that time, I began putting out a fanzine called Throbbing Cattle. And what you did back then is that you traded tapes with people like around the country. And since I had an address in Texas, I would get tapes, and I in turn would make tapes. So we were all like exchanging like 20th and 40th generation cassette tapes of various bands we heard of. And it was like through that I first heard, like, say, all the DC bands. First time I heard, say, Bad Brains and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And again, like, very few bands toured back then. Very few bands even had records, and it was all pre-internet. It was all kind of word of mouth and billionth generation cassette tapes you were kind of working with. But still, we knew we had a community, even if it was done through the U.S. Postal Service.
Yeah.
But no, it's exciting. And I remember, like, I wrote a fan letter to Husker Du, and it was right when Land Speed record came out.
Yeah.
And I had never heard a record like that. I mean, for people who like think of Husker Du, they think of like a pop band that kind of maybe
Harmonies.
influenced bands like Green Day. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, in some ways, that was kind of like Husker Du's punk rebellion to go from a hardcore to start playing pop because they're pop music fans. But anyway, Husker Du were lightning fast, so cool.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote them a fan letter. They said that I wrote them the first ever fan letter they ever got.
Nice.
I convinced them to come to Texas and play. Well, they wanted to anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I was their roadie for some Texas shows. I was able to see and experience Austin.
Cool.
Hung out with them in Dallas. I convinced Bob Mould to come back and record the Hugh Bowman Experience, our band.
Did he produce you guys?
Yeah, he made a record. Punks back then were so bored. I think Bob had an interest in like producing anyway. It's like, sure, I'll come down and record you. So so what the Hugh Bowman Experience kind of wanted doing is that we just took all these Sex Pistols songs and just sped them up.
Uh-huh.
Just sped them out a hardcore tempo. But that's how I learned how to play drums. Like, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
I could do that. That's still the default way I think of drumming. I'm kind of like a wind up monkey. Just wind me up and I can play real fast.
That's awesome. So technically, hardcore is what got you into drumming a little bit. I was going to ask you how you got into drumming, but
yeah. Well, I mean, I wanted to be in a band. I wanted to be in a punk band.
mm-hmm.
I had a drum kit. We played a show. I somehow lost the kick pedal, which made a kick drum kind of pointless. I couldn't afford a kick pedal, and we had a show coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to improvise, and I kind of realized, wait a second, with hardcore, it's just umpa, umpa, umpa. I mean, it's kind of fast polka music,
Yeah.
in a way.
Yeah.
So I realized I could get by with just playing on one floor tom and one snare and one cymbal. It was really minimal, but it totally worked for what we were doing, and it was just so kind of unusual. I never saw a drummer do that.
Yeah.
Well, let's do it, and it worked. It was fun.
Yeah.
And I later kind of took that style to the Butthole Surfers. I joined in. I did add an extra. So I had two floor toms. It was the process of me beginning to slowly sell out, where I got two floor toms and one snare.
Okay.
But I was able to do more tom work that way.
Yeah. Did you ever bring a kick back?
Eventually, I mean, after a few years of standing up with the Butthole Surfers, I got kind of bored with that, and plus we were kind of playing more ambitious. And honestly, I just kind of got bored with like what you could do with three drums. So it's like, well, what can you do with four drums?
Yeah.
Plus I was getting older, and I had to sit down.
Okay. Yeah. So were you guys friends with like the big boys and stuff like that in Austin?
Oh yeah. I mean, I think we kind of took it for granted back then, but looking back, it was amazing to be in Austin and to have the big boys and the Dicks, being our two main bands. And both bands were just incredible. Big Boys kind of felt like a great example for the rest of us, as far as like every time they'd play, invariably Biscuit would conclude the show with the Big Boys, now go start your own band.
Yeah.
And a lot of people took that to heart. It's like, okay, let's start a band. And the bands that came in the wake of bands like the Big Boys and the Dicks, they were all kind of diverse. It wasn't just hardcore. It wasn't just punk rock.
Yeah.
You had artiness. You had some folk people. I mean, and the Austin scene back then was so large-brained and or like was so accepting of it all in a way. If you went to a punk show, you were considered a punk, even if you didn't really quite playing punk music.
Yeah.
So it was pretty exciting. Plus, we had bands like the Offenders, Scratch Acid. Kind of got their start around the same time as the Butthole Surfers.
Yeah.
So Austin had a really strong scene, but like all Texas did too. Really Red and Houston were absolutely fantastic. In Dallas, the band I saw the most was Stickman with Reagans, who weren't a hardcore band, but they were hardcore. I mean,
what
they
was
were
it called?
intense. Stickmen with Reagans.
Okay, I kind of know that name, but I don't really know anything about that. That's cool.
Well, you should track down a couple of the compilation records have come out since then, and in some ways, I mean, they get compared to Flipper, I guess, but they were a lot scarier than Flipper. I mean, they were scary. I mean, but yet I loved them, and it was probably unhealthy for someone like me and like all my little teenage friends to be following around, sticking with ray guns like little puppy dogs. Like, oh, these guys are the best. But again, I mean, it was a truly exciting time for music, and I was all in.
Yeah.
Plus, around that time, uh, bands started to tour more and more. So, say by '83. Around when I joined the Buttholes,
Mm-hmm.
I was able to see Black Flag came through, Minor Threat came through.
Yeah.
Who's Could Do had been coming through a few times.
I think the Misfits might have even made it through at one point. I'm not sure.
Yeah, the Misfits played. It was like the loudest show that anyone had ever encountered. It was like standing next to like some 747s. It was like with death locks, yeah. With the Robo was playing drums for the Misfits back then. So that was fun.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. So what was Throbbing Cattle most? Was it like, did it cover like punk bands or what? I couldn't really find much about it online.
Yeah, I mostly did it in typing class.
Oh, cool.
Well, is it cool? I don't know, but at least I had
it's
access
cool that you were
to
utilizing the time for something useful like that,
But yeah, I mean, I didn't have a typewriter at home, so like this is my chance to actually, like, and it was before computers, before you could print out, lay out anything on the computer.
Yeah.
But I did have access to a typewriter in typing class, and like I would try to knock out my assignments quickly, and then write anything. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times what I did, I would just review my teachers.
Nice.
Instead of doing music reviews, I'd just review my teachers.
That's awesome.
The latest edition of like All My Children or whatever. Yeah. It's like almost anything but music. But it was really just an excuse to have a fanzine and really stay in contact with other punks and other fanzines. So
yeah. Did any of your teachers ever get a hold of
it? Yes. And Texas Monthly back then actually ran a feature about punk rock fanzines. And for whatever reason, they were mostly run by high school kids like myself.
Right.
And usually in smaller outposts, like say Lubbock and Abilene and El Paso and stuff. So again, these were all kids like myself, all trying to reach out to the real music scene, like the big city of Austin or something.
Yeah.
But Texas Monthly printed a few lines of my review of Mrs. McClendon, my typing teacher, and actually contacted Mrs. McClendon for a rebuttal, and she said she disagreed with everything that the review said, and so my first negative review, I guess, you ever got. But by that point, I'd already graduated from the class, and I didn't care.
No reprisals. Do you remember what you said about her?
Mostly, I just talked about how pointless the class was. She was also my English teacher, and we didn't learn any English, as you can probably tell by my grammar. Instead, she was talking about films like Mommy Dearest. She was just rattling. Or else she was talking about pop culture, pop events.
That's cool.
Nobody wanted to learn. Nobody wanted to teach, I guess.
Yeah.
So it was kind of glorified babysitting. So I kind of called her out on it. But then again, what kind of nerd actually wants to learn in school? But I was
going to say, I mean, Mommy Dearest is actually kind of a classic, if you ask me. But
no, I'm grateful. No, I probably learned more from Miss McClendon than I give her credit for. So
that's cool.
5 stars and 2 thumbs up from me on Mrs. McClendon.
Nice. Hopefully she's watching this now. So how did you end up hooking up with the Butthole Surfers then?
They were basically my favorite band.
Okay.
And I remember the first time I came to Austin, I took a Greyhound bus down and put my stuff in the locker there at the bus station. And back then, the bus station was downtown, and I knew that the Buttholes were playing a show not too far away, also in downtown at the Ritz. So I walked in, and it's like, okay, they were playing. I could tell. It's like, okay. One, they were scary. I mean, like Paul kept staring up at the ceiling. Gibby was a mess. I mean, like a just with like clothespins in his hair. And
Nice.
they were playing a saxophone. Like, okay, I thought these guys were supposed to be a hardcore band. I mean, like, this is not hardcore. And then I realized they were playing a song called DOA by the band Blood Rock. And Blood Rock was a early 70s acid rock band from Fort Worth.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that song. And this band was trying to do a sincere version of this ridiculous song. They weren't trying to speed it up. They weren't trying to make it punk rock.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they were even trying to do it ironically. They just liked the song and they tried their best to play it.
Nice.
And they were kind of collapsing while they were doing it.
Perfect.
Thought, okay, these guys are cool. These guys are cool.
Yeah.
And then a bit later on, and that was the Butthole Surfers farewell show. They were leaving Texas to move to California to make it big. As soon as they got to California, it was just one disaster after another.
Yeah.
And they came home about a month later with their tails between their legs. Although they were able to play for Jello Biafra, who asked them to make a record for Alternative Tentacles. So hey, that's a pretty good bonus.
Okay, So I was going to ask you how you guys ended up hooking up with him and AT.
So it's like the band kind of limped home to try to make a record. The thing was, like, they didn't have the band broke up. You know, the band broke up as soon as they got back to Texas, and so it's just Gibby and Paul. They tried playing a few shows with a few like random drummers, but they couldn't find a drummer that was into it. I mean, they would find good musicians who really weren't into punk rock, and if some punk would throw a bottle. Well, I was at a show where the Butts were playing, and this guy threw a bottle, and it hit the drummer square on the head.
Oh man!
He stopped playing. Show over. He quit the band.
Yeah,
it's understandable. Right. It's understandable. But as soon as it became clear that drummer had left the band, I let it be known to Gibby and Paul that people can hit me with a beer bottle. I don't care. I'd love to play for you guys.
Nice.
And just because I was expressing any iota of enthusiasm, that's how I got to an invitation to play with the band. Not that I was a good drummer. I was just simply willing to. And that was kind of like all that was needed.
I'd take a beer bottle for you guys. That's cool, actually. That's awesome. So how did you guys develop? Obviously, the Butthole Surfers have a pretty unique sound, especially back then. Like, was that just their genuine like selves, or how did you guys talk about what you wanted to sound like? How did that happen?
No, we never talked or plotted out anything. It all just kind of happens.
Yeah.
But I think what happened for us is that we came from the hardcore scene, but real quickly the hardcore scene got to be really just narrow-minded, and everything was the same. I mean, at one point you can only play so fast, and like it's like all these bands were like just clones of each other.
Yeah, and
hardcore was becoming what punk I thought was out to destroy, which is conformity, and all these bands were just being so like one like the other. So I kind of think to a large degree we were kind of reacting against that by intentionally not playing hardcore.
Yeah.
And someone like Paul, and Gibby too for that matter, but especially Paul, they had a deep classic rock knowledge which they could draw on. But Paul could also play it as well.
Yeah.
He learned to play by playing along the Grand Funk Railroad.
Oh, nice.
And while a lot of I mean,
it's cool to have that foundation.
No. Yeah, I mean, Grand Funk is great.
Yeah.
But I think like most guitar players back then would try to like not sound like Grand Funk Railroad.
Yeah.
Paul said, "Fuck it." He began leaning into it. I think the world was kind of like his oyster. So like playing blues riffs like Freddie King, which again Paul could do. It all kind of had appeal to us. Plus, the music scene itself was just changing and expanding so much. We were really into the whole post-punk scene coming out of the UK with bands like Killing Joke and whatnot. Plus, also some of the artier US bands like we loved Chrome, for instance. So I mean, there was just like a whole lot of music to discover. Plus, like industrial music, and it was all just kind of so exciting that we kind of thought, why give rules to ourselves? We can do whatever the fuck we want to.
Yeah.
So that was kind of our mindset in a way.
Nice. Did you guys in Texas, especially back in those days, did you guys have issues with like rednecks and stuff like that? You must have, right?
Well, yeah, but you have to keep in mind that Austin was kind of it was kind of a liberal oasis.
Sure, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
it's where all the freaks would move to.
Right.
So I recall when the Buttholes took off on our first tour, at least me with them.
Mm.
At the time, I had a long, floppy blonde mohawk.
Mm.
In Austin, it was no big deal to wear that. Having a mohawk back then was kind of passe or a cliche or whatever. I mean, it was like
Yeah.
a big deal. But so I was kind of used to the Austin bubble. But as soon as we got I made a pit stop outside of Dallas, and I should have known better. I mean, I'm from the area, so we went to a place that had a choice of Burger King or McDonald's, and the rest of the band went to McDonald's. I went to Burger King with my big mohawk.
By
These
yourself?
two bubbas come up to me. Yeah,
Oh,
these two
God.
bubbas came up to me and said, "I don't like it."
Oh,
And
just like that.
knocked me on the jaw, and like I flew on the ground.
Oh,
I
man.
didn't pass out,
Yeah.
but I got knocked down. I got knocked the fuck down for
Holy
sure.
crap, yeah.
And no one was coming to my rescue. And like it was kind of looks like, well, you deserve it, And part of me was kind of thinking, well, I did kind of deserve it. I mean, you kind of have to read the room in a way, It's like me walking in with like a mohawk at 83
Uh-huh.
in the suburbs of Dallas. That's kind of asking for it.
Well,
I got it. So
Right, but I remember, like I told you, I kind of grew up in Pennsylvania, and there would be like pickup trucks would just like screech their brakes. 10 guys jump out and start beating the crap out of you, like walking down the street.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like that. Yeah. So I know what you're talking about, man. But yeah, I don't know. I guess you got it, but I don't know if you really deserve that, man. I'm gonna say, you know.
well, I did hope. I mean, I learned my lesson, and like from then on, whenever I was like in the general population, I would wear a bandana to kind of cover it up and stuff. So,
You got to read the
yeah,
room.
lessons
Like you
learned.
said.
Yeah, little life lessons learned.
So, how did you guys? Were you were on that first record, right? I think there might have been a couple drummers, right? But I think you were on.
Yeah.
How did the recording go for that?
Give me a Paul. Like again, like their goal was to put out a record on Nocturnal Tentacles, even if they didn't have a band. So I came in towards the end, and I played on the last few songs recorded, which I think was Barbecue Pope, and then Wichita Cathedral, maybe one other, but enough to finish the record, and so that was cool to finish it. And also around then, right when we finished recording that, we got Teresa to play drums as well.
Okay.
Like that's when we started doing the two drummer thing, and then the two drums made their debut. At least Teresa made her debut on the PCPP EP, which is basically just a live version of the previous EP.
Okay.
So that's that.
Yeah. How did you guys find her?
Again, like the Austin music scene. She was playing with some cool bands. She was playing in a band called the Buffalo Gals. I believe also she was playing in Meat Joy as well. And again, like they were both like arty punk bands that we loved. And she was just cool. I mean, she was a good musician, but also just cool to be around, which being in a band, that's kind of the key thing. Like, can you hang with this person?
Right.
And,
yeah.
And certainly the Buttholes, we did a lot of hanging with each other because we had no choice. We were all stuck together in the same band. But yeah, I mean, Teresa was an amazing person. So grateful that she. Well, I mean, we were talking about learning how to play. She really taught me how to play drums because, well, I could play a basic hardcore style, like when we first joined, the Buttholes, that's kind of what I was doing. I only had two drums. That's what I was just doing that. So Teresa heard it and went, huh, okay. So like I was playing what I always played, and then she go boom, 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 just on toms only,
Nice. Yeah.
beefing everything up, kind of gave everything an immediate tribal feel.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, okay,
That's cool.
okay, I see what
Yeah.
you're doing there. You're
Yeah.
making it better. Okay. And really, when she quit the band, that was kind of my trial by fire because I had to start playing both my part and her part,
Mm-hmm.
and it really made me a better drummer. Or
Nice.
I got to be a lot more ambitious drumming, but it
Mm-hmm.
also kind of like fit in with like what I was into as far as bands like Killing Joke or like
Mm-hmm.
the '60s acid drum style, like Mitch Mitchell or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so it
Nice.
was cool.
That's really cool, man.
But but Teresa set the example, which I learned from. I
Yeah.
hope.
Are you in touch with her at all?
Well, unfortunately, she passed away a few years
Okay. I
ago.
wasn't sure. Yeah. Sorry. I probably should have
Yeah,
known.
no,
But yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
she passed away, but I mean, like emphysema.
Oh man.
She the documentary has been finished for a while. I think just now it's finishing its festival run.
Mm-hmm.
So the producers are hoping that it'll be available in the theaters and they're streaming at some point this year. So I hope so.
Cool.
But Teresa's in it, and she every scene she's in, she's just kind of like she steals it. She's just so cool, so great.
Nice. Hey, that's awesome. Definitely. So at some point, I read that in the late '80s, Butthole Surfers bought a house near Austin. Is that true? Like a communal band house?
Yeah, we the Buttholes were strange because we were basically a commune, although we didn't think of it that way.
Yeah.
We never put the word we never put the word commune on it.
Yeah.
But that's how it was because we were all living together.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have separate individual accounts. We just had the one band account, and
Oh.
whatever we'd need, whether food or whatnot, would come from that account. The thing is with the band account, it was there primarily to fund the band. So we'd get better amps, better drums,
Yeah.
start building onto a light show.
Yeah.
Like always, just trying to, we weren't paying ourselves at all.
Mm-hmm.
So we toured for a long time just in a van. We finally took a breather outside of Athens, Georgia, where we stopped. We rented a house. We set up our first in-home recording studio,
Mm-hmm.
which was the beginning of Locust Abortion Technician, and we began recording that. We then pulled up stakes, moved back to Austin, set up the studio again at a house in North Austin. Finished Locust Abortion Technician,
Mm-hmm.
but we were kind of getting to be known as like, oh, there's the Butthole Surfers house. Let's go say hi.
Oh
It's like
God.
here you are, like trying to just trying to live, and like
Yeah.
people would be like pounding on the door at 4 a.m. with
Oh
like some
God.
beer, like let's party. And
Yeah.
I'm like,
Totally.
what the fuck,
Yeah.
dude? We're trying to sleep.
Yeah.
Invariably, there'd be like one or two people saying, "Yeah, let's party." It was like, oh man. But anyway, it was kind of nice to get the fuck out of Austin, or at least further away from Austin.
Mm-hmm.
So we moved to a city called or a little outpost called Driftwood, Texas,
Mm-hmm.
which is outside of Austin. But it was beautiful. It was out in the hill country. It was really nice.
Mm-hmm.
People call it a ranch, but it wasn't a ranch. It was just a house on a couple acres of land. But it was beautiful. It was really nice.
Cool.
It was remote, and then we rebuilt the studio, and yeah, so
Okay. That's cool, man.
we did that.
Yeah. Yeah. But so I also read that you were the first guy that moved out of the
Yeah,
collective
well,
house.
it was a lot. It
Yeah.
was a lot, and I, you know. I love my brothers and sisters, but I kind of need my space. But when
Yeah.
you're always around these guys,
Yeah.
year after year, as intense of a life that was,
Mhm.
yeah, I was the first one to tap out. So I
Mhm.
said, guys, I'm going to move to Austin. I'm going to get a little house, and I was in that little house for 35 years. So I mean, it was like my little sanctuary away from
Yeah.
the craziness of the band. So yeah, I was the first one to tap out, but I somehow remained in the band despite all that. So that was cool.
Yeah, yeah. So you guys eventually, okay, you guys get signed to Capitol Records, correct? In the early '90s.
Yeah, surprised us.
Were you guys like tripping out about like, wow, we're on Capitol Records? Like, how did that even happen?
Kind of. I mean, uh, on one level, it kind of made some sense, only because when it came to like, I think Polestar or something put out the top grossing live bands for the previous year, and we were the only band on the indie label that made the top 10 or 20 or whatever it was.
That's cool.
So I mean, it was like all on the indie level. I mean, so it was kind of cool that people were coming out to see us, and I think executives knew that, okay, well, there's definitely these guys have a following. We were selling records on the indie scene, but we were called the Butthole Surfers, and we made the music. We made the kind of music that we did.
Right.
So it wasn't an easy sell.
Yeah.
But I think by the time we were on Lollapalooza, we were on the first Lollapalooza. I think that it kind of began snowballing, and like we also got a manager who was tasked to find us like a good record deal, because at that point we were on Rough Trade, and Rough Trade was kind of sinking. It was kind of iffy. So he was tasked to find us a record deal, and he was entertaining offers from major labels, and Capitol made sense.
Yeah,
they offered the best one, but yeah, it was strange. I mean, totally strange to be on Capitol Records, but we told ourselves, you know, if you know, as long as we own the band name, as long as we own the music, we're putting out the music we want to put out. If someone wants to give us better distribution and slap their company logo on the back, that's fine.
Yeah, of course.
So, you know, and really that's kind of what happened for the first record. And it got even sillier because they got John Paul Jones, or we asked for and got.
So that you guys asked for him. That was going to be my question. Like, you were like, we want John Paul Jones.
Well, I mean, like various producers were pitched to us. Some were cool, some were like, what? But like John Paul Jones was pitched to us.
Oh, okay.
We're like, John Paul Jones?
Oh, yeah.
Why would he want to do this? But we talked to him, he was cool, and it turned out he was actually the perfect guy to do it. One, because he's John Paul Jones, that was kind of cool.
Right.
But also, he was a really hard worker. He got his start being a studio musician in the '60s, so he takes being in the studio really seriously. And he wasn't out to change the band or anything, but he was out to kind of edit some songs down, or like try to get things as concise as possible for each song, and really present the song as best it could be presented. And he did a great job. I mean, he worked hard at it.
Yeah.
Now, he had to quit drinking afterwards, I'm told, because we ran up way too high of a whiskey budget, and apparently took a toll on his liver and kidneys.
Yeah.
But hey.
But so he was a real producer. Like he had ideas and was hands on. That's pretty cool, man.
He did a great job. He really did.
Yeah. That's cool. So this brings me to the After the Astronaut situation, which is coming out now the way it was supposed to be, right? Back in 1998, I guess. And apparently Capitol Records, they decided they didn't want to release it, right? After they heard it, but they didn't check in on you guys while you were making it or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, like, let me backtrack like a bit. Like we made that first record with John Paul Jones. It was fun. It was a rock record. But had a minor hit with "Who's in My Room Last Night."
Right.
Then
is that the one that had the Donovan cover on it too?
That was the last Rough Trade record.
Oh, okay.
Called P-Road.
Okay.
So yeah. I mean, I guess like single wise, it kind of went from "Pretty Dirty Man" to "Who's in My Room Last Night."
Yeah.
To eventually the next single off the next album, which was Pepper. And the thing was, like, Pepper to us was kind of I mean, we all liked the song. It was kind of reflective to what we were listening to at the time. Like we were into stuff like Massive Attack and Tricky and his trip hop in general. But it was just one song off the album. It wasn't like our new sound or anything. It was just a little experiment that we tried, and it was fun. It was cool. Unfortunately, that became a hit, and unfortunately, Capitol Records thought we could just be shitting Peppers all day long, when in fact that was just a fluke song by an art punk rock band. So I mean, none of it made sense. But we thought, okay, if you like Pepper so much, we're going to make this next record all samples, all loops.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a great time. I mean, it's basically at that point, it was just the three of us, Gibby, Paul, and myself.
Mm-hmm.
And we all had identical systems of digital recording systems. So we could swap files back and forth. I was really into just sampling and drum loops and just the whole just loopiness of it all.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really cool. We that the album, like After the Astronaut, was us playing with every crayon we had
Mm-hmm.
and just making a cool record. And to me, it kind of reminded me of the time of Locus Abortion Technician, where having access to an 8-track machine was like this new toy. So like, let's just have fun with it. Let's play with it, and let's just
Mm-hmm.
we'll create a few songs. We'll create some soundtracky kind of stuff. Just we'll record farts. We'll record cows. We'll
Yeah.
record everything,
Yeah.
and have fun with it. And that's kind of what I felt like with this album.
Yeah.
There were a few pop songs.
Right.
There's also songs like I don't have a problem with it,
Mm-hmm.
which was me spending hours listening to other people's phone calls.
So I
Back
saw the
then,
blurb about that. How were you actually doing that? Like these, you had a machine that you could cut into people's calls, or you had recordings that somebody gave you, or something.
no, I was live listening and I was recording it all into DAT.
Oh man.
Back then, some phone calls, not all of them, but some phone calls were broadcast over a radio frequency.
Uh-huh.
And if you had a full bandwidth radio, you could tune those frequencies and pick it up. And like, you never knew like who you were listening to. It's like I didn't know whose phone calls I was hearing. And usually you only heard one side of a conversation, but still they were out there. And
Yeah.
maybe we all have a voyeur tendency about us, but maybe I do especially. But still, it's just kind of fascinating.
Yeah.
It's like I just record all the stuff, and it was apparent to me that people are either like venting about how sad they are, or how horny they are. Like people are either like people either looking to cry or they're looking to have sex.
Okay.
Those are basically the two kinds of phone calls.
There you go.
And to me, like this is Austin. This is a snapshot of the city at this place in time.
Uh-huh.
Like every voice on that song was recorded over a 1 week period in Austin,
Uh-huh.
over stuff that was floating over my house. So
Nice.
there you
Did,
go.
did you ever? Was anyone ever like, "Hey, that was me," or anything like that?
Not yet. Hopefully,
Okay.
it'll stay that way.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because I guess it hasn't come out. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll see.
yeah,
I don't know how they can prove it. They hate that's my voice, and
yeah,
why anyone would admit to it at this point. Yeah, I don't know.
yeah.
We'll
So,
see.
yeah. So everything that we just said is obviously true, but I would also say that like the song Jet Fighter, like you said, there's a couple pop songs on there. Like Jet Fighter could be a successor to Pepper. You know what I mean? Like I think this shows the short-sightedness of major labels where they were like, the rest of it's too weird. I mean, they could sell the album with 2 or 3 hits,
Well,
you know?
who knows who knows what would have happened, to be
Yeah.
honest? Because Capitol initially was going to put out the record. They put out advanced CDs to
Uh,
press. It, it,
oh,
it got re, it got reviewed. It got reviewed in
like
Spin
the whole album,
magazine.
not just a couple singles.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. I mean, like it had a slightly different album called The Last Astronaut, but
mm,
even the band wasn't sure what to call it. But it's the same record. So Capitol was going to release it. What was unknown to the general population is that the band and the management were at war with each other, and we weren't getting along with the manager.
okay.
And it sure seems like the the manager kind of poisoned the well to a large degree uh, to us at Capitol Records. I think at that point we became too much of a headache for Capitol Records, and then they said, "No, we're not going to release it like while you guys are fighting and like in lawsuits with each other."
Okay,
It is
yeah.
understandable,
Yeah.
but by the same token, they wouldn't release us from the contract either. So they owned the record. They wouldn't release it, but nor would they give us permission to put out the record somewhere else.
Right, right.
So we were doomed, and
Hmm.
they weren't about to give us money to record another record. So we were totally fucked.
Yeah.
So we spent 2 years trying to find a way to get out of this conundrum with Capitol Records.
Wow.
Finally, Hollywood Records came in, uh, uh, bought us off the contract,
Oh.
released, which got us off Capitol, so we could put out the record. But Hollywood didn't hear the hits, or rather, they wanted to have more hits. So we then spent like another 2 years. It felt like trying to come with a fucking hit to satisfy the label, turning into company men. And
Yeah.
then its nadir, uh, Kid Rock sampled one of her songs, and
Oh, really?
uh, yeah, and instead of just paying us money, the label thought it'd be a really smart idea to get Kid Rock to collaborate with us on a song. We were
What?
like, and at this point, we were so screwed. Like you guys own us, and we want to carry on as a band. So okay, I guess we'll work with Kid Rock. And at one point, when I realized I was playing tambourine on a Kid Rock song,
Oh,
I
wow.
only then had I realized what the fuck has happened here. I mean, we used to be this arty punk rock band. Now I'm playing tambourine on a Kid fucking Rock song. It all happened so gradually.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that cliche of like, you know, put a frog in boiling water, it'll immediately jump out. But if you slowly raise the temperature, the frog doesn't realize it and stays there until it dies.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what it felt like. But
Oh,
like only
man.
then I realized the water was boiling.
Yeah.
So it was so fucked. I think at that point that finally killed. Uh, I don't want to say music for me, but certainly killed like the fun of being in a band to a large degree.
Yeah.
So I think so. Yeah. So yeah. So there we
That's, oh, wow. I had no idea. That's hilarious. What song did he sample from you guys?
uh, Sweat Loaf, which is a rip off of Black Sabbath,
Right,
but
right, yeah.
maybe it's easier to, or maybe it's cheaper to sample Butthole Surfers than to sample Black Sabbath. So there you
Yeah.
go.
So you're also you're credited as drum machines as opposed to drummer on this album. Are there no
Yeah,
live drums on it?
I don't believe so. I think
Okay.
it's not so much drum machines; it's mostly samples. It's
Okay,
like
yeah,
all
that's
loops.
what I was going to ask you what machines they were using 'cause
Yeah,
the email that I got says drum machines. Um,
yeah. Well, yeah.
but yeah.
And there's probably like a few kicks and snares like augmented here and there with
Oh,
triggered beats, but by and large, it's sampling. And
okay.
at the time, I was really into the whole uh, Terminator X style, like heavy production of like
Hmm.
let's say Public Enemy,
Hmm.
um, just that whole dense style rhythm and sounds coming and going everywhere. To me, it was hypnotic and kind of psychedelic in its own way. But
Yeah, yeah,
so
for
yeah,
sure.
I loved it. But I also kind of felt sorry for Paul. Where instead of giving him like one beat, I was giving him like 50 beats. And he was trying to like put it all in its place and have it all make sense.
Nice. Yeah, yeah. So you would
So
like hand him like
but
tracks that you made and stuff like that?
yeah, like the loops,
Yeah.
like Paul, try these 12 together. It's like hear it. Yeah, I hear it, but okay. Like, he would then try to make it a little more concise. So
Uh-huh. That's cool, actually. That's a pretty cool approach. I kind of like that, man. So apparently, I was going to ask you how Hollywood Records maybe treated you as opposed to Capitol, but it doesn't sound like it was all that good.
well, I mean, I'm grateful to Hollywood,
Okay.
and
Well, right. I guess they bought you
because
out of Capitol,
yeah, I
which
mean,
is
it's like
cool.
because Capitol wanted to end the band, and we kept going. I mean, it involved like selling your soul.
Hmm.
You're playing on a Kid Rock song, but at least Hollywood got us off the contract.
Uh,
And to their credit, after the astronaut, they gave us permission uh, to release the record because most of that is what Hollywood Records put out,
mhm.
and Hollywood actually bought off Capitol every song that's on After the Astronaut, and
Okay.
they said, if you guys want to put it out, you guys can, and that free and clear. So I have no beef with Hollywood Records.
Uh-huh.
You know, they really made After the Astronaut possible in a way because Capitol tried to kill it, and then they came to rescue and gave it back to us. So
Yeah.
I'm thankful about that.
That's cool. Yeah, sure. Yeah. So some of the same songs are obviously on the Hollywood, and they're the same versions, or are they different versions on that?
They've been remixed. I think it sounds tighter,
Okay.
but About three-quarters maybe of the album is the same songs, although all the songs have been reworked to some degree as far as like remixing and stuff.
Mm,
The songs that Hollywood took off were the songs I thought made the album cool. So, songs like I Don't Have a Problem with It,
yeah,
and I mean, and Booyah. I mean, just the weird offbeat tracks that I thought
right.
made the album interesting
Hmm.
got eliminated on the Hollywood Records version of it. So,
Hmm.
while none of us were happy with the Weird Revolution, we were happy with After the Astronaut, and this is the album that we wanted to put out in the first place. So I'm glad it's finally come out.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Definitely, man. I was listening to it in the shower this morning, actually. It starts off with the first few songs are like songs, and then it gets weirder and weirder and weirder as it goes on. It's really cool, you know?
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. I mean, I'm glad somebody might think that. I mean, but because to us it was kind of like an art project in a way, and
Uh,
we enjoyed working on it, but it's a different thing. There's no way that we can evaluate it, because we're way too close to it. So thank you
sure, yeah.
for
I
telling me
hear
that.
you. Yeah, of course, man. So eventually the Butthole Surfers kind of stopped. I mean, I don't know that there was any big announcement that you guys were, I don't think you ever officially said you guys were done, right?
Yeah, no, what do we call it? We call it
Hiatus.
a bed hiatus or something. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
We Gibby and Paul have been in a band since '82. I joined in '83,
Hmm.
and it was a long time. I mean, for anybody to be together. I mean, it was a long
Hmm.
marriage, and
Hmm.
I mean, it was a long time,
Hmm.
and I think we all just kind of need a break. We all kind of
Yeah.
need sort of kind of get on with our lives.
Yeah.
So but we still remained friends. I mean, we
Cool.
had no beefs with each other. I think
Yeah.
we're just all just kind of exhausted that stint on Hollywood Records and the struggle it took to get that record to come out.
Hmm.
I think it took a chunk out of all of us, and I think all of us kind of wanted a breather. And
Makes sense. Yeah.
so, yeah,
Yeah, I hear you, man. What are you currently drumming in any bands and stuff like that now?
I play in a band called USA Mexico, which is literally 30 beats per minute. I mean, I have a metronome
Yeah.
and it's 30 beats per minute. It's like one beat every 2 seconds. And that's barely like living. I mean, that's you're barely living if your heart's beating at 30 beats per minute,
Okay.
which means like boom. And it I mean maybe it's like akin to like a band like say like Sono or something like
Oh yeah,
that.
yeah,
But
yeah.
it it
Okay.
it it is the hardest drumming I've ever had to do to play with that much restraint
Yeah.
because I am a monkey drummer. I like to go fast,
Yeah.
so to play that slow feels like you're dying in a way,
Uh-huh.
and it's so excruciating, even though you're barely moving. But
Yeah.
because I hit hard, I kind of throw like every muscle I have into it, and this one beat,
Uh-huh.
and then you have to wait another 2 seconds before you get to do it again. But it's fun.
Yeah.
It's a challenge. I
Okay.
like it.
Yeah, that's cool. What about, is there going to be any shows with Butthole Surfers for this?
Probably not.
Yeah.
We've learned to never say never.
Yeah.
None of us foresaw us playing three songs in LA this year. Yeah, this year when uh, the movie made its debut in the West Coast debut
Uh,
to kind of help out the director, the producer. We for the Q&A, we just played some music instead.
nice.
So none of us imagined doing that, but I can't imagine going on tour.
Hmm.
Paul has told me many times that at this point in his life he's happy, and playing the Butthole Surfers risks making him unhappy,
Okay.
which I understand. And none of us want to make Paul unhappy,
Uh-huh.
so
Yeah.
that's fine.
Fair
We
enough.
all get it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's cool. I like it. That's good, man. That's good. Well, all right, man. I guess I'll let you get on with your afternoon. Here it's about to be evening on the East Coast, almost, but thanks for spending some time with me, man. I appreciate that. Enjoyed
It
speaking with
was a
you.
pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks a lot, man. Cool, man. Have a good one.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
You too. Thank you.
See you, man.